G'day, it's Rusty from Rusty's Outback Adventures, and welcome to part 5 in our Goodbye Camper Hello Caravan series. And today we're going to be talking about the gas and the plumbing. Now, the gas, as you saw before, we mounted the gas bottle up the front of the drawbar. We removed the 240 and gas fridge and put the little 85 litre upright Bushman in there. And the stove needs to be connected up, and it's not something I can do myself. You need to be a licensed gas fitter to do that, and I've got a guy coming today. And the other part of this video is to do with our plumbing. Now, this is a grey water tank. This is a 50 litre grey water tank, so the sink waste can go in here, and then I have an outlet to either a hose connection to a drain if you're in a caravan park, or I can drain it separately when I get the opportunity. And the other thing we need to do too is install this 82 litre water tank. Now, underneath the van there's already a 59 litres, about 59, 60 litres from what we can gather, and that's okay to start with, but we also need to make sure we got more water on board. So this is the reason for the second tank, and this will go behind the axle, and there's room in there. I'll show you underneath where we're going to put it. The other thing is there's an electric water pump currently mounted in the cupboard under the sink. Now, I'm not sure whether to leave it there or put it underneath the van between the two tanks and have separate feed lines into that pump, and we'll put a tap in each one. My big caravan's got a pump underneath to pressurise the water system. And look out, big dog. Come here, big boy. Hey, what do you reckon? Go on, off you go. Go on, off you go. No. Anyway, he wants to be part of the video. So yeah, we haven't wired the pump up yet, and we're still not sure whether we're going to put it underneath or leave it in the sink. So I'll work on that shortly. So that's what this video is about, and I need to get on and start doing the plumbing. Good on you, Roy. Come over and be in my video. Now, I mentioned a gas fitter was coming, and he's installed a new regulator here, run a copper line underneath. Now I'll just show you what he's done under here. He was able to, he was able to tee into the existing line, installed a shut-off valve, which is, there's a shut-off valve there, and tested the system, and it all worked fine. So that was passed. The gas compliance sticker was attached to the A-frame. So yeah, that was another thing we needed to get done, and that's all done now. Now, underneath we've got forward of the axle, we've got this water tank, and it's got a filler which I've just disconnected, and it's got two outlets. One goes to the pump under the sink, and this other one is a manual pump at the sink just to draw water without running the 12 volt pump. Now, what I'm planning on doing now is that big tank I showed you. Just dial up a little bit. Behind the axle, those original suspension brackets there, we may come in handy. We're going to put that new tank underneath there, and we'll need to work out a filler. And I'll just show you the filler at the moment. Just see, climb underneath. Alright, we have the existing filler here, but it doesn't have a cap in it, so I'm going to replace that. And that goes through the wall, through the cupboard and underneath. So I'm going to duplicate that probably down here, and behind that axle is where the other tank will go, and I'll probably have to work out a filler pipe for it coming through here somewhere. So yeah, I've still got to work out the logistics of that, but that's roughly where I'm going to put it. So I'll need to get on and make some brackets and organise where that tank's going to go. Now, I've just pulled the original water tank out, and I just wanted to take it out to have a look. I wasn't sure how they'd set the breather up, and also I thought there's pretty yucky water in here. I'll clean it out. So I'll just drag this out here. Right, so there's the original tank, and it's got water in it, so as you can see there's water running out. So don't know how old that water is, but I wasn't sure about the breather. But in here, the breather's in here, they've drilled a hole in it, so must have been able to work. I'm just not sure whether I should put a tube or something in it. So alright, I'll take this, now that it's out, I'll flush it, drain the water out, just make sure there's no dirty yucky bits. I was thinking of replacing it, but I think I'll just put this one back in as it is, and probably replace that little stone guard, bash guard. I've got some 1.6mm aluminium checker plate, and I'll make a new cover for that. So alright, I'll clean this one out and work out what I'm going to do about that little air vent. Needs to have something over it to stop getting dust and dirt in it. Now under here is my second water tank, which is the bigger 82 litre one, and that's the filling port there, and oops, I can get that there, that's the filling port, and the outlet will be there for the water pump. So back here I've just drilled a pilot hole to have a look. Now it is the same height as that one over there, so I've just cut a 75mm hole with a hole saw, and this is the water filler that's got to go in here. So I've got to drill through that panel very, very carefully, and it'll come out in the inside cupboard, which is actually inside the frame of the bed. So I'll just continue on and get that cut out. Ooh. Ooh, there's a hole in there, and this filler hopefully will fit in there. Oh, that was a tight fit. That was alright. I just need to clean that hole up a little bit. It was just I think I measured this at 77 or something, and that hole saw was 75, so little clean up around that edge and it'll be all good. Alright, we'll go and see how it looks inside. And this is the outlet. I just got to clean that hole up a little bit, and then what it'll do is I'll come through here and go down through the floor, and then that'll pick up that filler pipe for the water tank. Alright, we're getting there. Now the straps I've got to make to hold the water tank in place is this, basically going to look this shape. That's meant to be square, 90-degree bend. So I'm using some 50x3 flat bar, and the first bend is at 210mm, and there'll be a couple of screws going, or metal screws through here into there's an RHS up there under the chassis, so that'll screw to there. And then 500 along here, I bend it back up, and I'm going to put a bolt and weld a piece of angle line to put this through to hold it in place. Now, instead of putting this in the vise and hitting it with a hammer, I'm going to take it over to my 30-ton press and put it on the press brake, and it makes a really nice clean bend. Okay, so there's my mark. This is a press brake, so it just runs on the hydraulic ram, pushes this plate down, which has got a ground to a point. There's a V here, pretty simple, and the first bend's always the easiest. It's just a matter of lining up the blade. I've actually called it a blade in the die. Now this dimension here, this 210, will be trimmed to size, so if I bend it a little bit further past, it won't matter. Just like to make sure that's square, and it's just a matter of doing that. Barely use 2 ton on the press. That's right. I'll just show you what it looked like. So that gives me a nice bend, and I'll repeat the process on the others as well. So I'll show you when I've finished. Well, with these brackets for the water tank, I actually had to do a couple little offset bends. I'd forgotten about the RHS up there, and what I've done here is I've bent this one here and put a bolt with the head cut off. So I'll show you now how it all goes together with the tank in place. Now before I put the water tank in, I've just bent a piece of 1.6mm aluminium checker plate, and that's like a bash plate, I guess, if you like, so it covers the front and covers underneath, and that'll be held in place with the straps and just gives me some protection, and also it hangs over a bit here so I can just cover these fittings where the pipe work will be plumbed out of here, and that's the filler. So hopefully I've got a little bit of protection there in case we do catch any sticks or something on a bush track. So that's done. So now I can weld a bracket in to weld the straps onto and bolt them in. Alright, so the water tank is in, and that's a bit light. So the water tank is now in. The aluminium checker plate, bash plates in, covers it. The brackets, as you can see, are secured up onto that RSJ, and I'll just show you at the back. And the back of the strap comes up here, shows you that bolt through the angle iron, so that's done up tight. And the inlets, the water in's been plumbed in. We've got the outlet here with a valve, so I can draw from one tank or the other. Same at the front. I'll just show you the front one. And the front tank's the original tank, and there's a T-piece in here, so the back tank to here. This tank's got a shut-off valve as well, so one line runs through to the pump under the sink, and it draws from one or the other tank. And the waste at the moment from the sink comes down that PVC tube to a cap, and I'll be able to put a hose on that to run it to waste, or put a bucket under it. So I'll just show you the pump inside. And the water pump under the sink is a 11 litre per minute 12 volt pump, draws 5 amps, and yeah, that clear hose feeds up to the tap. And I've disconnected the manual pump at the moment. I will be running the electrical system all the time. So what I've done here to complete the system is this switch here is the water pump, and it's a pressure pump, so the fact that it's fully charged, if I turn the water on, pump comes on, turn the tap off, pump goes off. So that's really cool. So I just run that, turn that switch off. So that's pretty much it for the plumbing system and the gas. Well, now the gas is hooked up, new gas bottle, new regulator, certification's been done, the plumbing's all finished, the second water tank's in, the new filler's in, all the new pipe work with the shut-off valve so I can draw from one tank or the other. Pump under the sink works really well, and yeah, so that's another box ticked for this series. And if you like the video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. If there's something you don't like about the video and you give it a thumbs down, appreciate you putting in the comments below what it was you don't like, because I'm always trying to make better content. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, subscribe button will be down here. It'd be great to have you along, and thank you for all those that have been following the series. And if you haven't seen the rest of the series, if you haven't seen the rest of the videos in the Goodbye Camper Hello Caravan series, I'll put a link to the playlist up here, and you'll be able to see the entire series from start to now. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I'll certainly answer your questions. And until next time, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.